The aim of Black Mental Matters is to tell experiences with honesty. Therefore, some discussions may trigger an adverse reaction. If a discussion is beginning to upset you, we advise that you please stop listening and talk to your support team.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much. We're back. We're Black. It's Black Mental Matters. Vince the Voice, Coach Makeba. What can we say? How you doing, Makeba?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good today, Vince. How are you doing?
Doing great, doing great. We're still here. We're battling, boy. We're on the front lines advocating for mental health and trying to, just make sure that our people have a good mindset, wellness, and all those kinds of things. I'm so happy to again be with you, and I want to just thank you again for all that you do for me and for all those out there in the world. You know, you've been touching minds for a long time, and so I know that it is a passion of yours.
Absolutely. Are you going to make me cry? But yes, absolutely. And I'm so glad that we're talking about this topic today, Vince, that you so eloquently put together. I don't know how you just come up with these ideas and then you throw them at me. And I'm like, yes. So I'm so glad that we're doing this because the topic of passion with mental health in the Black community goes so deep into just how it affects us with anxiety, depression, our expression in art, social activism. I mean, this is a really important topic. So I'm really excited that we're going to talk about this today.
Well, thank you. Yes, passion. And what role does it play in our lives? Just to set the ground, passion is something that you want to dig into more deeply. It doesn't matter if the passion improves your body, mind, or heart. You're just drawn to the things that you're passionate about. I can't explain it to you how passions develop, but I do know in order to find your passion, you have to be exposed to a wide variety of things. And then you discover passion, trying new activities, traveling, or even flipping through magazines and newspapers. My own story. Here I am, Vince the Voice, but I just had a passion for reading as a kid. I found that activity just so great. And guess what I'm still doing today? Reading, talking, using my mouth. And it has been, just a great experience for me. And I wish it for everyone to be able to find what it is that really motivates them and makes them get up in the morning,
Yeah, and that's so great. That's the great thing about passion is that it's not external. It's something internal that has to be ignited. And in order for you to find what ignites your passion, just like what you said, you have to kind of expose yourself to a lot of different things. And you also have to come out of your comfort zone and try new things and explore new activities that you may have been, too shy or maybe not interested in before. But I think just the topic of passion alone and just how it impacts depression, and especially in the Black community, is so important because it 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 enables individuals that are dealing with depression and an outlet or almost an inlet of something to pour energy into and to have something no matter what it is. And it doesn't have to be something that everybody else is excited about. I just did a presentation not too long ago for UPS, their HR department, and it was along the lines of finding that thing that ignites you and how that is the thing that is the key or one of the keys to your mental health and your emotional well-being.
Yes, well-being, resilience, as you say, stress relief. It can fuel your motivation, enhance your self-esteem, provide that sense of purpose. You also have to be careful not to be obsessive with it too. That's all that you want to do because it can consume you. But the role of passion in mental health, it's just a beautiful thing, giving you that harmony in your life, a sense of freedom and autonomy in pursuing an activity. It's also linked to higher levels of psychological well-being and hedonic and eudaimonic well-being. Can you explain what that means to me, Miss Makeba?
I don't know what that I do believe that hedonic adaptivity or something like that is the term. I believe that is what happens or there is a metric of the measuring of happiness, and that hedonic adaptivity means that if you are pursuing that wrong thing, look at me knowing this. Thank you, God. That if you
Ding,
are
ding, 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 ding. You are correct. That's right, Makeba. Back to the board.
right, but it is really interesting that you're saying this and that you mentioned that, because what that is it's the return on investment. If you are pursuing something that you are not passionate about, that's what it's referred to. It's hedonic adaptivity. And what it is that you get to a certain income level. And I believe that measured in income level about 5-10 years ago was $100,000 per year, between $70 and $100,000 per year. They were trying to measure what people in their minds in America thought was the salary that, hey, this salary is going to make me happy. And they found that it was between 70 and 100,000. And then after that, you are less happy, and then you need more, and then you need more, and then you need more, because you're less and less happy. And unfortunately, you see that with people with extreme amounts of wealth. I mean, they're not happy. They're all over social media. I mean, if I had that kind of wealth, I mean, I want to think that I would just be quiet and just be in my little mansion somewhere on my way to Mars. But that's the indication that those things that we think make us happy, they don't make us happy if they're not fueling an inner passion.
Inner passion, boy, that is powerful right there. The fact that it's not about, you're not doing it to make these, ungodly sums of money or just being extremely wealthy. You're doing it because it's providing a sense of purpose for you, and can serve as a coping mechanism even during those challenging times, boosting your resilience. Stress relief can take you away from those daily stressors and negative thoughts, including reducing your stress levels. It can open up and increase your self-esteem. Passion can boost your confidence and create a sense of accomplishment, and higher levels of positive effect, meaning that individuals experience more positive emotions when engaged in their passion. So passion is a big thing, and I wanted to talk about this because sometimes we're just kind of treading through life, and but no, there are things that you can engage yourself in. A lot of times you have to look back to when, like I said earlier, when you were a kid, something that you just enjoyed. And we talked, recently about careers and trade skills and things like that. I used to always say, hey, if you like to draw, there's as a kid, maybe you were doodling all the time on something. Well, it's kind of showing you that that's someplace, deep within you. And I mean, there are paintings and murals and just all kinds of cartoonists and animators and all kinds of careers that you can get in there. If you're a caring type of person, healthcare, definitely for sure, a therapist, it'll show you early on that passion of yours will manifest itself, and then you're like really walking in your purpose.
Yes, yes. And in that same line, it also enables us to tap into areas of release that we need, because sometimes your passion can be therapeutic, like art. There's a huge, this, Vince, there's a huge art scene here in Atlanta, black art. And that black art, a lot of these black artists are extremely expressive, and their storytelling, and there's artwork around expressing trauma, disclosing, childhood trauma through paint, through sculpture. I mean, the black art community in Atlanta is firing on all cylinders, because they also have dialogues, oftentimes in those art spaces. So that's also the great thing about finding your passion, is that once you find your passion, it can lead you to a community of others that are also of like mind, that, engage in that passion as well. And then you're not by yourself, because that's really important when you are dealing with, things like anxiety, depression, PTSD, any type of mental health concern. It's so isolating because you're always in your head. So you think that you're by yourself, but
Yeah.
you're not once you find a community.
And what do we hear about a lot these days, and particularly after the pandemic? That there's now a epidemic, pandemic of loneliness. That people feel like they're in their own space, they're all alone, no one cares, no one knows, those kinds of things. And so when you have that passion, you're willing to step out there and find those communities that can help you. I encourage everyone just to ask yourself the question: what do you do in your life that triggers tremendous pleasure? What is it? I don't care what eating, is it playing sports? What excites you? What do you look forward to doing at the end of a busy day to take away your stresses?
That's why it's so important. And I always try to stress this in my own mind when I find new things that I'm passionate about. Like right now, I'm revisiting some of my old kung fu things that I was learning broadsword. Stop. No, it's a mental health thing. No, I'm not trying to compete with nobody or do anything like that. But but it just puts me in this really still space that nothing else does. And I have to kind of just watch myself sometimes because I get so excited. I'm like, oh, I can't believe I did that. And sometimes it's not about, posting something on social media or showing somebody, what you're doing, but to be able to have those happy moments where you're just jamming in your passion and you're just doing your thing when nobody else is looking, and you don't have to show it to anybody else. Like, that's what we're really talking about here, is like finding that expression that really fuels you. As you are pouring into it, it's pouring back into you.
I really feel blessed. There's no other word to say. As I said, started out just wanting to read as a kid, to the point that, in class, anybody but Vince come up and read, because this dude read too much out loud in the class. But here I am now, some 60 years later, or what have you. And I think back to this past weekend, the MC in a ballroom dance competition, and I got music, and I'm able to say that, Mary, what a beautiful dress and gown you have on. It's that happy place. It has taken me so many places, whether it's sports, boxing, again, like we met, and it all came again from that little spark. So I want to encourage parents, because particularly today, and this is a whole nother topic, we push our kids so much into sports or things that we feel that is going to help them in life, but kids have to find their own way and their own passion. So parents, you can help them by exposing them to a broad variety of activities early on, not just the ball games, not just concerts, but a broad thing. And then they're able to find their way. Some examples, it could be playing a piano, to playing basketball, dancing or acting, collecting comic books, shells at the beach, making video games and movies. And having a passion then helps a child like myself build confidence and be more resilient and just keep moving forward. And you just have no clue where that passion can take them.
Absolutely. And I like how you're distinguishing between parents being able to differentiate between, and as a parent, I had to check myself also with this, being able to differentiate between what you're passionate about and when your kids are thriving in something that you used to do or that you have an interest in, you're sort of like living out through them. And then when they're like, hey, mom, I don't want to do this anymore, you're like, yes, you do. But
Yeah,
they don't.
right.
So like you also have to know, when to kind of balance, okay, when is it time to also kind of weigh, maybe there are some other things it's now time to go out here and explore, that might also give you life skills like learning how to swim. Oh my goodness, I'm such a proponent of Black people learning how to swim. There are swim clinics all over the country. My sorority is actually having some swim clinics all over the country. So the thing of getting your kids in something that's not just that they're passionate about, but also can increase their mental health and give them a life skill too, and be something that they can teach their kids or share with their friends. That's a win for everybody.
Yeah, the biggest thing is that the child is enthusiastic about the activity and wants to do it again. For adults. If you love books like I did, you don't have to read highbrow literature, Macbeth and all this kind of stuff. A romance novel will do. If you enjoy tennis, it's fine to have a non-competitive friendly game. Many people have a passion about giving back and volunteering. I did as well. And I love sharing the fact that as I was developing my career, every significant thing, change, a promotion came from a volunteer situation. There was someone that was there, and boom, changed my life, with a phone call. As simple as that. It doesn't mean that you're always striving to be the best at something. It just means that it's something that touches your heart and your mind and engages you to an extent that you feel fulfilled. And pursuing that passion is definitely key to maintaining your mental health.
Yes. And in that same context, I would like to also say that that's the reason why you and I are even sitting here today doing this, Vince. You put this project together, at the front of it. This was an act of passion, in memory of your brother and your dad, and also your mom's memory. I mean, you and I touch base every morning at 10 a.m. and we have a million other things going on. However, when we connect, we are excited about this. This is something that we're passionate about. So I love that we're actually doing this in this space on this platform that was built in this same guise, that this was a passion project and still is.
There's a couple other terms that are right around this word passion. You got values. What are your values? What is your passion? What is your purpose? Similar, but a little different. And it's you want to find each one of those. You want to find what it really means for you. So, like purpose, broader and more profound concept that encapsulates how your values and your passions come together. That's my purpose. It's your deeper reason for existence. So many times we just floating through. No, it's a reason for you to be here. It could be just something as simple as the Walmart greeter who smiles. You never know you may have changed their mind from doing something harmful to themselves or someone else. There is a reason why you're here, and your passion, your purpose, it'll all lead you to that goal of and that's I think that's what really a fulfilled life is all about. Would you agree?
Oh, I agree with that 100%. You're actually making me think back on a couple of weeks ago when my husband Norman and I went to the Waffle House for breakfast, and there was a server there by the name of Sugar. And she was so vibrant, and her energy when we walked in, we'd never like sit at that little, that little like kind of like the civil rights counter, like right up in the front, like, oh, it's so awkward. And people are like standing next to you paying. It's like, oh, but like her energy was just so beautiful. We sat in her area. She had the most beautiful spirit. She was talking to everybody that walked into the door. Some people were mad. She calmed them down. She was calling people honey, babe, sugar. She knew who not to call honey. She knew, you could just tell she was so happy. And I asked her, I was watching her just in awe. And I said, and I didn't know how to ask it, but I said, what are you? And she said to me, she said, my dad used to have an ice cream truck. And when I was 3, my dad would put me in the ice cream truck and we would ride around all day long, just selling ice cream and just being happy. And that's why I love just being around food and service and people. Oh, Vince, I still think about Sugar at the Waffle House on Washington Road in East Point. Shout out to Sugar because she is an angel from heaven. And she has passion, and that passion is overflowing into her community, and we need it.
Wow. Wow, that passion, and it opened up the doors for her in the world. I mean, here we are talking about her to the world on this podcast, but it really is something that has been a driving force in all our lives, and you find it. I find so many people, when they talk about how they. Oh, gotta go. It's Monday. Gotta go to work, or the job that I'm doing, and think of all the years that you spend in the workforce, or working on your career, if you're an entrepreneur, what have you. You definitely want to have a sense of why you're doing it, or a purpose. Again, that word purpose, uh, a reason for doing it, a desire. Even to do it. And I know that that plays such a big part in your mental health. And then as a result of how you interact and deal with others, and deal with yourself and your family. So while these, we just talk a lot about these things, they are extremely important because, well, the mouth, what comes out the mouth is probably the most powerful thing it is on earth, whether you believe it or not. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Amen. And especially when we as parents are trying to say, share our passion with our kids, especially if it's like a family business, some type of legacy that you're trying to now show your child, you have got to make it fun. Like I have learned and just the hard way, you can actually suck all the joy out of a passion if you are showing your children something that you are excited about and you're angry or stressed or anxious, always remember your passion should bring you joy. It should make you feel light. There are times where I have to check myself because I'll be working in the mental health advocacy space and I'll start feeling myself getting stressed out and have to go, no, because this is my passion, this means I need to now pull back and rest and reset because this should never feel like I'm burning the candle at both ends.
When you said that, it made me think, and I hate to date our programs, but recently this young man that won American Idol, I don't even watch American Idol, but this young man,
Yes, you
Jamal,
do.
I connected with it because he's from Meridian, Mississippi. I remember going to Comcast, a training down in Meridian, Mississippi, so I could picture the place, had the best barbecue on earth. But this young man, who, church going, he's a school teacher, young African American, but he got up there, he sang these songs. And I mean, it just touched you. He followed his passion. Now, what he got, I think it's like $500,000 you get for winning that. He's going to collaborate with all these other singers. And along the way, sure, there were those that says, yes, go, Jamal. But you also have those that try to kill your passion. Like, hey, that's not something you should be pursuing. But you can't help it. It's coming from within you. It's driven by your personal interests and desires. It's something you do because you generally love it, not because of the external rewards, expectations, or what anybody think. When you're passionate about something, you're naturally drawn to it, and the mere act of engaging in that activity becomes the reward itself. Just when I go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm right there. I'm in my happy place. If it all ended right then, thank you, Lord. I did my thing.
I just have to say that my favorite is always your boxing announcements. You're like when you're announcing the boxers, it's the best. So anybody who has ever has the opportunity to come watch Vince the Voice do the voicing for boxing to actually announce anything, any fight in Atlanta, please make sure you come out, not just for the fights, but he makes the fight so much better just by your voice and that you're interjecting. But it's because you're passionate, because one time my husband and I came to something that we thought that you were announcing, and it was a boxing event and it wasn't you. And we were like, wow. Because I'm sure the guy loved, and he was a great announcer, but the passion wasn't there and just the energy wasn't there. So it's really important to love what you do in the space where you just let it be big and you just let it overflow. And I love how when you're just jamming and doing your thing, you're not subconscious. you're not embarrassed. You are just in the zone. And like, that's what finding your passion and pursuing your passions should look and feel like. It should not ever look or feel like work.
Well, thank you, thank you. And I hate to say it. My wife says, "Stop saying that all the time," but I'll say, I'm not a big sports fan. However, I love as soon as I walk in a gym, especially when we're talking about USA boxing and things like that. I can feel the spirit in the air. You got ex-coaches, ex-cons, ex-cops, ex-firemen who are serving as coaches and instructors with these young kids, from the neighborhood who could be doing anything, a lot of times could be doing some things that we would rather they not do, but I can feel the love and the discipline and the spirit in the room. So that fuels me there. It's like, okay, what can I bring to this experience? I'm going to announce little Jesus here, or little Jamal, or whoever, and like he's Joe Frazier, and he deserves that. And yes, it does. It gives me a chance to get my passion out, which again, when we talk about purpose and passion, there's a thing that says that purpose is like your mission statement, of which, and I have always tried to say, and I have said this I just want to make people feel good. And that comes from that passion. That comes from just like what we're doing here. And in honor of my dad, my brother, we want to help you because you never know what people are going through. I just want to make people feel good. And these opportunities to be on a microphone and talk about these things gives me that chance. And so, fellas, I mean, everybody can't do that. I can't do some of the things that you can do. But whatever it is, if that's your passion, I encourage you, go for it 1000%. If you're good again with your hands, if you're good doing hair, if you're good doing feet, I don't care. That's your thing, because hey, I like to get my toes done too. I'm looking at them right now. They need a little something, something. I need to see somebody with some passion who gonna make these footsies look goodsy.
Okay, I like that. I mean, you're actually making me think about just all of the things that we could also be doing just for just the awareness of just activities for men,
Yes.
just hobbies, interests, just coming out of, again, your comfort zone. I know that you mentioned, Vince, and my husband also, like yard work for you guys, just being out in the yard. My husband introduced me to, of all things, nature and bird song. He's really into bird feeders and hummingbird feeders. And up until we started having them around our house, I never paid attention to how angelic the sound of birds are, especially early in the morning. And that, again, birding is a passion. Also, there is an organization called Black AF Black AF in STEM. And that is a Black organization that does birding. And currently they are doing Black Birders Week, where for an entire week, this organization of Black birders are doing workshops. They're doing hikes. They're identifying birds. They're identifying bird songs. They are charting migration patterns. They are harbingers of change for deforestation. I mean, they are an incredible group of individuals, and they found their passion, and now they're all together. So that's also what this can also stem into, is not just what you're interested in, but also social activism, and also that's something that you can be doing at the same time as you're enjoying nature.
That's right. That's right. Oh, I love it out here in the country with the birds, as you say. They are singing. Now there is one bird that wants to keep landing on my car, and I'm dealing with him. But I love the birds. First thing in the morning. So it's very clear that having a passion can benefit your mental health. But your passion can also be contagious. When one person is passionate about something, that actions often inspire others. Think about the coach or player who's truly passionate about a sport, and then it washes over the entire team. Passionate teacher can inspire students to look at art in a new way, dive into a book, pick up an instrument. Parents can teach their children it's important to make time for things that you love at any age. And at any age, you can discover your passion, right? And your mental health will benefit. And if you're having trouble discovering your passion, holler at me and Makeba. We'll help you find it. First thing I'm going to say is, hey, as a kid, what did you like to do? That's always mine. I'm like, what did you like to do as a kid? Because that'll pretty much that common denominator you'll see throughout your life. I just always loved doing this. I always loved going to the grocery store, whatever it was. You find that passion, you find your purpose. Oh my goodness. Ain't nothing better than that.
Yes, because you probably loved it before anyone had an opinion
That's right.
of it. And then that may have broken your passion for it. So that's a great idea, is to revisit those childhood passions. I like that.
Makeba, I'm passionate about this podcast, but unfortunately, we've come to the end of this episode. We thank you so much for tuning in. We encourage you again to reach out to us. Subscribe. We're on YouTube, Spotify, TuneIn, Apple Podcasts. We thank you. We are picking up on our subscribers day by day. And so, again, anything that you would like for us to discover for you, help you discover, we'd love to talk about that with you. So, Makeba, happy every day.
Thank you. Same to you, Vince. See you next time.
See you next time. Remember, Black Mental Matters. God bless.
Always.